Hey, yeah! It's live and it's two. Say what, Marcus? Say it, motherfucker. Say it.
2.
Yes, Dynamite dudes on a Rampage. And we are live and we're discussing all the happenings in AEW and the potential happenings in AEW. And holy crap, Marcus, I wanted to call an emergency press conference earlier this week and you shot it down.
Yeah, it's you're getting a little loosey goosey with the emergency, Dom. A little loosey goosey with the emergencies. It's when we did the last Jason, what's up, man? Thanks for joining us. When we did when WWE did their last crop of releases, we didn't call an emergency one, did we?
No. But this is big, dude. This is big time.
It's big, and I would say that this one's pretty much a layup that he's going to show up in AEW, right?
You think so? I mean, like, who knows? He could maybe by all accounts re-sign with WWE, but it doesn't know yet. I
don't know what he wants, what his priorities are, but rumor was, Dominic, and you're in the wrestling media, maybe you can tell me. Like, look, for those of you who don't know what the fuck we're talking about, it's Cesaro.
Cesaro's.
He let his contract
expire,
which means, by the way, that he could show up anywhere, anytime.
Anywhere.
No 90-day no compete. Contract is gone.
So just like Cody.
Whatever he wants. Nesha's pumped up that I'm here for the third week in a row. What's up, Nesha?
She didn't necessarily say that. She's
excited, Dominic. She is excited. Steven, what's up, man? And yeah, so anyway, Cesaro did not release. That's incorrect information.
Yes.
His contract expired, and there's no 90-day no compete. He could show up anytime.
Anytime, baby. And you know what? It'd be pretty darn neat if we want him to come to AEW.
Oh my God, Jason Michael Campbell.
Whoa.
I'm using the full name, Jason Michael Campbell, on that one.
Wow. Oh man.
Look, everybody's entitled to their opinion, but I will say I think that Cesaro, pound for pound, best wrestler on the face of the planet. I know I say that once a week about someone, but it's him or Thunder Rosa, really.
And then there's Dax too. You also mentioned Dax for that.
Pound for pound, best on the planet. And I think I may have said it about Cody, or said he's top 5 or something like that. But in any case, look, any company would be absolutely foolish not to sign him and pay him essentially whatever he wants. He is a super unbelievably polished performer. He was my favorite wrestler, and then I just got so fed up with WWE. I'm like, I can't do it. I can't, even though I want to see Cesaro, I can't see him fucking do a job to No Way Jose or whoever they're rolling out there. So can't
No Way Jose's no more.
Right. It's fucking Adam Rose and his bunny, and Cesaro's got to lay down. Cesaro's got to lay down. That's about a callback right there. That's about the last time I watched Dominic.
Oh my!
Consistently, but no, it's I'm jacked up that he's available. Honestly, and I said this to Dominic in a tweet. They need to bring him in with
not a tweet, a text.
In a text, they need to bring him in with a Bruno Sammartino, Larry Zbyszko, Vern Gagne gimmick, where it's just like he's like this old school, just shooter guy. Comes out to no music, maybe wearing a robe, no knee pads, short black boots, the CC Claudio Castonogli on his tights, and just have him be this dude who's just like this unstoppable wrestling machine. I really think that would be a money angle for him, and world champion easily.
Yes.
Easily.
Dude, Marcus, you think about it, there's been so many chances where we're like, okay, let's give Cesaro the ball and let him go. Let him go with it. And, I was thinking back, too. I was trying to, run over his entire WWE career and go over it in my head. And honestly, everything that he was in, I felt he could have worked with. And he made the most of in a lot of ways.
He squeezed every drop of juice.
Every drop you freaking could out of that. From when he started off with the guy that speaks 5 languages and then had, I can't remember his valet that he had at the time. Maybe somebody remembers her name. But he had her, and it was I thought it was a well way to introduce him. And then you look at, when he went to NXT and, tagged with Tyson Kidd. You go from even being managed by Paul Heyman, where I was like, man, he's a perfect Heyman guy. They could make this work, and they didn't run with it. They didn't stick with it. They didn't commit to it. And then you look at like him just going to the bar with Sheamus, being the Swiss Superman as like in that babyface role and stuff, and like just getting that momentum behind him, and then them pulling the rug out from under him. That's why they said like, the reports are as to why he left is because like he just kind of got discouraged and was just like wouldn't hear stuff and just didn't feel like he's being utilized, and everybody loves him backstage. He's a positive force backstage, a positive person that like a lot of people are friends with and stuff like that. I think we can talk about this here in a second. I always want to touch upon like the roster side with AEW unless they make the adjustments, but it's like he should be somebody that they incorporate and put a focus on.
This is one of those times when, and I've been beating the drum like, hey, he's got to slim down the roster. There's only so many spots, only so many quarter hours, et cetera, et cetera. This is one of those times where you say, fuck it, I need this guy in my company because he's that good. Dominic and Cesaro, the greatest example of misuse you can think of in WWE history. I think you could argue Dusty Rhodes and Polka Dots.
Yeah, but you could also make an argument for Cesaro in that favor because Dusty was an established star already. That like Vince had a hierarchy of people and he was just bringing in Dusty to like for his own ego and stuff like that in a lot of ways. So I mean it's a missed opportunity. Boy, yeah, I would have to think a little bit more about that, but Cesaro's up there, that's for sure, right?
Yeah, I mean, NWO I think you could argue was misused.
Yeah, that was misused. The alliance in general, that whole thing.
Basically, anybody that came over from WCW except for Booker T, misused. Sting.
Sting's a big one, but even like there's a lot of talents that you're just like you could make an argument for like somebody like a Ricochet, even that hey, he hasn't even gotten a shake, and like he was just clearly hyped from the beginning. He felt like almost like a Peyton Manning type prototype that was coming in. Like hey, this is a surefire bet right here,
right?
And then like Cesaro kind of like just grinded away at it, and like you saw his ability and his capability to connect with fans, and via like his strength, his pure strength, and everything like that. Yeah, man. I am when I got that news, I immediately texted Marcus, and we had a correspondence.
Old school gimmick. Maybe put him with Arn Anderson, and just let him be him, dude. Claudio and Hangman Page, Claudio and Bryan Danielson, Claudio CM Punk, Claudio MJF. Yep. List goes on and on.
Okay, it keeps going, baby. Claudio and Eddie Kingston, friend of the show.
Eddie Kingston.
Yes, a rivalry from Shikara days. So it's be very good stuff. Man.
Yeah, he's excited. He's not happy. Well, yeah, he's pleased. He's pleased that Cesaro's out on the open market, Dom.
Yes.
All right, let's see what people are talking about here in the chat. Dominic, Tammy Sitch arrested again.
Yeah.
Which is a bummer.
Yeah, it's just she can't escape it. If you get in a pattern of like if you've been there, like sometimes it's hard to just get yourself out of that funk.
Yep, I like Tammy, so that's a shame. But hey, this is not just general wrestling news. Dominic, we're two Dynamite dudes on a Rampage.
Yeah, that's right.
Let's talk more AEW.
Yeah, there was something else I wanted to mention about Cesaro too. I just think bringing him in and incorporating him in the role, like in a top role to that aspect, I think would be extremely valuable because fans do want to see Cesaro positioned in the right role, like of that, because we haven't gotten it. We just haven't gotten it.
They talk about seizing the brass ring over there. Like, hey, everybody's got an opportunity. All you got to do is seize the brass ring. Well, he did. He got over with the crowd. He got the big swing super over. He had the Cesaro section. Cesaro was loved by that crowd. It reminds me a little bit of Zack Ryder, where Zack Ryder got over in spite of the crappy creative and the shit that they stuck him with. He got over, and WWE was just like, nah. It's what they did with Bryan Danielson for the longest time, right? Where the crowd wanted him and they loved him, and they were like, nope, and they refused to do it until the crowd literally kind of forced them to.
Yeah, no, Marcus. I mean, we talked about this last week about it, like with Cody potentially being aware. Kind of weird that both Claudio and Cody have their contracts expire, and we hear confusing things as they leave their respective companies. Is there anything to that, Marcus?
Probably not. I would say that it's just happenstance. I think that you could entice me to believe that there's something going on if Cody showed up on WWE on the same night as Claudio showed up.
What
on
I'm
AEW.
saying is there some sort of collaboration between the two? Like, hey, let's really shock the world by going to this certain promotion or that certain promotion. That's kind of what I'm getting at.
I don't know. I think there would be too many moving parts.
Maybe not though. Both guys are free agents, so how much moving parts you have to worry about?
I don't know. It's what you're saying that who are you saying is collaborating here? WWE and AEW?
Claudio and Cody.
Where they're like, let's just swap positions.
Not swap. It's not like
you can come in and start doing jobs for guys fresh out of NXT. I'll go over there.
No,
and,
he would be jobbing out to like somebody that we've seen so many times already, and it just wouldn't make sense. Not NXT. They don't bring anybody from NXT.
No, it would be like Baron Corbin would come out and beat him.
Happy Corbin would happen. No, I mean, like, hey, let's create a story here amongst everybody and be like, all right, Cody and Cesaro in AEW, back in AEW, and they have an agenda or something to that effect. I don't know, Marcus. I'm just throwing it out there. Just a little something.
Yeah, I'm gonna say unrelated, and I think that regardless, I think that Claudio would be the biggest signing to me that AEW has gotten thus far. Name anybody.
Well, not Punk, Marcus.
Okay.
Or Bryan Danielson.
Okay, fine. You make a couple.
Jeez, oh man, Jericho, perhaps
from a work rate. How about from a work rate standpoint?
I don't know. That's arguable too, Marcus.
Bryan Danielson. But I think that if we get to see Bryan Danielson and Cesaro go to work, everybody's going to be putting Cesaro in that same category.
Well, yeah, I think you already can. I think you kind of already can.
Well, he's not exactly shined in the 3-minute segments that he gets on Raw.
Yeah. No, look, Steven Chambers makes a good point. I'm sure Punk, Danielson, Cole, and Miro pitch in for him to AEW.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like Tony Khan has established a really close relationship with a lot of the talents in the company, and I'm sure that the people who've worked with him are probably banging on the office door for Mr. Khan, saying like, "Hey, look, if you're going to sign somebody, you need to bring in Claudio.
You got to bring him in."
Not to mention, Eddie Kingston kayfabes it, but I believe that he's very good friends with Claudio.
Oh, sure, yeah, he does. Eddie went out and tweeted, friend of the show, by the way, tweeted out that he doesn't have
we mentioned that?
Show up in AEW. I don't think we mentioned that.
Yeah, and when we interviewed Eddie right here on this podcast, Two Dynamite Dudes on a Rampage, I asked him about working with Claudio, and he like rolled his eyes and refused to put him over. But no, I think that those
might
guys
have to dig that clip up. I might dig that clip up.
Oh, I think we better. Dom, let's hammer on.
Nesha says, "Let's talk AEW." Well, let's do that.
All right, Nesha's fucking over it, dude.
Hey,
Dominic.
I have the segue, but
Well, I just wanted to ask because I'm seeing what Jason Michael Campbell has to say. Jason Michael Campbell, borderline polarizing so far. No, up one.
Up one?
I guess they are body shaming Adam Cole. Dom, I've been hearing a lot about this. What's your take on that silly shit?
I never thought about it. Like, I never gave it. People would talk about it, and I'm like, he looks fine to me. He looks good to me.
Wrestling has changed. Wrestling has changed, dude. You don't have to go out there and be like 6'4" and just jacked up on steroids or
he's in great shape. Like, I don't know what you want out of it.
Like, you don't have to be this huge guy. He's a great worker. He's a great worker. He's got a great look. He's marketable. So no, I don't think there's much to that.
Yeah, no, I don't think there is either. But Marcus, my segue was, Eddie Kingston's embroiled in a feud. That's
friend of the show.
Good friend of the show. Pretty darn good right now. He had a confrontation with Chris Jericho. Very engaging yet combative promo segment that we had on Dynamite. What'd you think?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was good. They're both really strong promos. Obviously, Jericho's been a strong promo for 25 years. But Eddie Kingston, friend of the show, he's been a strong promo since one of the strongest promos in the business since being put on a national stage, really. So it's always cool to see that sort of thing happen. But yeah, it's I think it's exciting. I think, and I may have mentioned this last week, Kingston has to go over here, right? What does it
Sure,
what does
yeah.
it do? What does it do? Otherwise, what's the point in any of it?
Yeah.
You know, Jericho's established. Jericho is Teflon. Is, you know, short of putting him in a match where he gets covered with orange juice, it's going to be really hard to bury him. Yeah, they even did that, and it didn't bury him.
Yeah.
So, so what's it hurt? He needs to put over Eddie and elevate him.
I think that's what's going to happen. But I think, you know, you look at it from how they talked on Wednesday night, and what Eddie played into about Jericho being a sports entertainer and everything like that, and taking his digs at WWE, and in turn Jericho also taking a dig at WWE too.
Didn't he mention like Paul Levesque too?
Yes, that's the name of the show, Mark. Tonight is the Jericho Levesque hates, or something like that. I put it.
Hey Dom, real quick, John Howard, first time chiming. Welcome,
yes,
John. Welcome, everybody, new folks,
new and
folks. New and old. We're happy to have you.
Yep. Number 4 mentioned. We must have said that several times that Eddie's a friend of the show here.
You know, it's sometimes I forget. It's important, I think, for us to put it out there. Both him and Thunder Rose are friends of the show.
Yep. And several more we can get to. Crowbar, friend of the show, right?
Oh, of course.
We got it. We got him cooking. Hey, but yes, I liked the contrast, but of the one another's promos, but how they played off of one another too. Like Jericho was like, he felt like the sports entertainer side of the promo. You know, you get your kind of classic Jericho-esque digs and stuff like that. But then Eddie, you get what he was talking about, like, hey, I am who I am, and he was who he was by saying a lot of that shit. And like, you know, like you're almost thinking like, okay, how's Jericho gonna come back at this one? Or like, what's he gonna say to make this? And they kept it up. They kept the ball up in the air, man. I thought it was a really good dynamic between the two. And I thought a lot of good lines were said. Chris mentioned about Eddie's like his like a born failure kind of thing, set up a good story for that regard. And then just Eddie taking he wants the Jericho of old from WCW. He wants the Jericho that Mr. Levesque hates. He wants, you know, the Jericho that you saw like tear down the house at like New Japan and shit like that. And so like, I thought it was a really good setup for this like relatively new feud. So
yeah, I mean, and it tells a fun story. You know, they're really kind of two different stories as far as their wrestling journey, and you know, incredibly, they wound up meeting here on a national stage with AEW. But like you kind of think about each of their individual journeys. You know, Jericho, since he was early 20s, he's been on a national stage and climbed the mountain and done great. And Eddie Kingston, this is really his first crack, and he's like 38.
38. Yeah.
Right. So very different wrestling journeys. So I think it's cool that they played that up, and yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. As long as Eddie goes over, it's the only thing that makes sense.
Yeah, it really is. I would just like it to be a straight up match too. I wouldn't want any like stipulations or anything like that.
Dom, you don't want a hot tub full of orange juice?
I think I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Maybe I could take like a.
You don't want video game arcade systems surrounding the ring?
None of that. What else kind of weird stuff have we had before in AEW? There's been some weird stuff.
There's been a lot.
No, I'm just all right with straight up match. And just let them go. Let them go. Tell their story in the ring. Jason and Michael Campbell wants the Thrill Seekers, Jericho and Lance Storm.
What if Lance Storm came out?
I don't want anything. I don't want any.
No, I know. I don't think they need any frills.
I think they could really. It would make a big highlight of that match if it was just a straight up match. You had a straight up winner. It's just like I think it would make it stand out a lot more.
It looks like John Howard would like a dinosaur involved in the match somehow, though, Dominic, and I co-sign this idea. No, I think he's playing off what I was saying, kind of saying like, okay, what kind of weird stuff can we add? And he's referring, of course, to Luchasaurus.
Luchasaurus, that is weird.
Yes. Weird gimmick. And have you noticed he doesn't talk anymore? He just
Marcus, yeah. It's like what happened? It's like he devolved. Am I wrong?
Right. Yeah. What is going on over there?
I mean,
but no, there's a lot of hissing.
Did he get caught in a meteor shower or something?
A lot of tongue lot of tongue sticking out over there. Right. So
What's that story about? What are they gonna tell with that?
I mean, how do you build a hot angle with a guy that only does that? If you think about it, like
And he used to like speak in a somewhat intellectual form, and now he's devolved.
right. He was at like the podium at one point. He's like, I've got a master's degree. I've done this.
Yeah,
I've got that. And now it's just like, you know what? Fuck all that. Here's my tongue.
I'm a hisser.
Right.
Hey, somebody that wasn't hissing was MJF, and telling quite the story.
Boy, may have been your worst segue in the history of the podcast. Yes.
Yeah. Well, anywho, this was quite the promo, Marcus. And how did it make you feel after the fact?
I wasn't crazy about it.
Really?
Yeah, and I understand what they were doing, and I think I thought it was interesting. But thing is that his bread and butter is being like this guy who refuses to be vulnerable, even when he is vulnerable, and it's just somebody that you can't relate to, or at least somebody that the average American can't relate to. Right? His whole gimmick is, I grew up filthy rich. I've had everything handed to me. I still think that I thumb my nose at everybody. I'm better than everybody. Like that's been kind of his bread and butter, and it's what's kind of gotten him where he is. And now all of a sudden he's relatable, right? He's talking about feeling left behind with CM Punk. Whenever CM Punk left, he was tearing up. He was like, it's too relatable, and it paints him as a sympathetic babyface to a degree. And that is not what you do with MJF, at least in my humble opinion. Now, look, was it a good promo? Of course, it was great. He's always great. He's never picked up a mic and been bad since I've been watching. However, did they go the right direction? I don't think so.
Mark, I mean, I think we got to take a step back and look at who we're speaking of. This is MJF. This is what's he been great at is manipulation. Has he not? So him talking, like, you think about Cody, you think about, everybody that he's kind of rubbed up against. Sometimes it's blatantly obvious. You're like, okay, MJF he's up to no good here. I think this is the time where he's completely lets his guard down. And what do heels do best is fucking pull the rug out from under you. This was a great promo, made you feel for him. Like, there was some stuff that, like, yeah, it was heavy and things like that. And then he didn't give any indication to Punk at the end of the match or at the end of the segment that, like, he felt any different. You know what I mean? Like, what he was saying was sincere. And heck, you could still play it off that he was sincere, but a heel also would be like, I got past all that stuff and you guys fucking felt for me. And I beat your asshole, like, your asshole top star here. Like, something to that effect. So I think this is maybe there's a little bit more to tell with this, obviously, story.
And I'm sure that we're not going to just, we're not going to go into the match with it just being like, hey, MJF hasn't always had it easy, and here's CM Punk, who everybody loves. Let's have a match. Like, I'm quite sure that there's going to be, like the whole swerve, and of course he's being disingenuous and all that sort of thing. But the thing is that if you're a casual fan, if you're just like tuning in, and you see that segment, how does it paint MJF to you? It's like I've told you, I like broad brush jokes when it comes to wrestling. I like very overt, good guy, bad guy. Of course, we can see some shades of gray. Of course, we can have like some nuance. But when it comes to
this a shade of gray then?
When it comes to a money heel like MJF, I don't think you fuck with what's good.
I don't know if they necessarily are, though, Marcus. I think this is just going to be like, hey, MJF pulls another one out, from under everybody. I think that's kind of what they're going for. And he wants you to sympathize. You buddy up to him. You feel bad. You either sympathize or empathize with him, and then he just punches you right in the stomach. So I think that's kind of what they might be going for. Oh yeah, like John, this was in the whatchamacallit promo, the Eddie promo. What's a baby face? when Eddie said that. Yeah, but I just I think it shows MJF's chops a little bit here and his ability to convey a certain message. And, but hell, I think we're still going to get a heel MJF. He's getting a freaking dog collar match against like your top babyface, arguably, in CM Punk. So I think there's more to this. That
Well, it's interesting. There's no denying that. But I don't know, man. I'm the kind of guy that every morning I have pretty much the same breakfast, do the same thing. I don't like change, Dom.
well, you're boring. You're boring in person. So yeah, that's people don't have to be that way,
Hey,
Marcus.
I'm about to tear up like MJF right now.
Well, make me tear up, Marcus. Make me tear up. Make me feel that pain.
All right, let's hammer on.
Okay. Let's see, Marcus. What? Oh my gosh. Just what is? I don't have anything written down here. So
Oh, okay. So the rest of the agenda is just done.
it was shoot from the hip. I'm usually pretty good with memorizing.
So
when I talk
just
about.
now, Dominic, were you being disingenuous when you said, "Oh my God"? Like it sounded like you were about to go into something big. You were
No.
like, "Oh, Marcus, oh my gosh."
Well, I said, oh my gosh, because I couldn't remember what to talk about. That's what I said.
Yeah, Nesha's helped me billing you out there, Dominic. She just said Buddy Murphy. We could go ahead and
Yes.
talk about that.
Thank you, Buddy Matthews. What a great Nesha, co-host Nesha here. Yeah.
Wait a minute.
What?
John Howard has asked, "What are your thoughts on Luke Cage not getting used?"
Thank you.
Luke Cage is from the Netflix series,
the Marvel
correct?
universe, but
Yes.
I think that's why he named himself Brian Cage was because of Luke Cage. So
I'll tell you what, Luke Cage, tremendous. He would be a tremendous wrestler.
Tremendous. Has a personality like the outlaw personality. You can't beat that.
He's not vulnerable though. Just not vulnerable enough.
I think Luke Cage might be vulnerable.
Luke Cage has like regenerative health.
That doesn't mean he's not emotionally vulnerable, Marcus.
Oh, you're saying you would have to manipulate him with psychological warfare.
Yeah, I bet you MJF could maybe manipulate Luke Cage.
All right, we're going off the rails.
Okay, so but let's talk about that in a second. Yeah, it's been reported that Brian Cage has kind of like they signed him for another year, and we haven't seen him.
When did they sign him?
Doesn't seem like there's a sign of. I think his contract was expiring out, and Tony Khan signed him like just recently. So he's signed through February 2023.
Are they keeping him away to bring him back as I've requested? And by the way, Tony Khan listens to this podcast. We've established that. Has he listened again, Dominic? And is he bringing Brian Cage back as Mortis?
I think that's a really good idea, Marcus. I like it.
So it's almost like a really smart guy came up with that idea.
Maybe it wouldn't go that far, but I think it'd be pretty cool if you have him feud with House of Black, right? Especially with this new member of Buddy Matthews, Marcus.
Or join House of Black and rename Buddy Matthews Wrath.
How about Ming?
So we'll bring out Ming. We'll get
Buddy
Kevin Sullivan.
Buddy Ming.
Bring out Kevin Sullivan as Satan.
It's Satan. He's just Satan.
Right. They don't call him the devil. They don't call him Kevin Sullivan. It's Satan.
It's Satan.
Satan has made his debut.
Satan
is all elite.
Tony Khan puts the guy up. There's like flames around him.
So I would tune in. If Tony.
Satan's here, guys. Jeez.
Well, no, Kevin Sullivan as Satan.
No, that's what I'm saying. But you just call him Satan.
Yeah.
And like he's like Satan's showing up on the show.
Satan is all elite.
Well.
We hammer on.
House of Black, though, Buddy Matthews showed up, Marcus. You thought there was potential to be Wyndham Rotunda. I told you already, hey, it's going to be Buddy Matthews. And sure enough, Marcus, I'm fucking right.
You nailed it, Dom. Buddy
Matthews. He showed up. What'd you think, Marcus? Any assessment at this point?
Well, didn't do much for me. Mostly because I'm pretty unfamiliar with his work in WWE. Just because I don't watch WWE. I knew that he was with Seth Rollins. Dude looks like $1 million. He's in very good shape. From what I've heard, he's a great worker. So yeah, it's good. But you're also, I guess if you're putting him with House of Black, they still only account for one segment, so that seems like a good thing. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to think about it. John Howard here is making a good point about Penta.
Yeah, I saw that too.
So when he came out, and by the way, Alex, or what's his manager's name?
Alex Abrahante.
Yes, Alex Abrahante. Love the guy. But when he came out, I didn't recognize him when he's like dressed as like the fucking crypt keeper, and then he's like singing along with the music, right?
Yeah.
And it was fucking weird, dude.
I like Michael Jackson / Freddie Mercury looking Alex Abrahantes.
Right. Oh, what if he just came out in like a different outfit every week though? You know, like next week he's like a fucking werewolf.
Werewolf wouldn't be bad.
But like werewolf, like the Wolfman from like the 30s. You know,
like Lon Chaney.
Right, with like the fur just goes around his face.
You want all out like fucking done
with like a black nose.
Black nose.
Right. I want that. And then like the next week, he's like just Vincent Price.
Vincent Price would be good. If you really want to keep going like the 30s, right? You could have him come out as like Ray Bolger from the Wizard of Oz.
Frankenstein.
Ray Bolger from the Wizard of Oz.
And get like the headpiece and have him come out as fucking Frankenstein. Have him singing the song by like the tombstone. Oh, what if he's like digging? They have like a grave set up and he's digging the dirt, and then Penta comes up out of the dirt. That would actually look cool. Pretty sweet.
That'd be actually pretty badass.
Yeah,
they could do that.
That would look pretty sweet.
Yeah, I would like that actually.
Dom, that would be fun if they kill off Pentagon storyline, and then like every week Alex Abrahantes is digging him up.
Oh, see that? I think you're onto something, Marcus.
Yeah, that could be fun.
You were talking about like, having your own kind of Undertaker thing with maybe like a Bray Wyatt or something. I'd go
and Luchasaurus.
He's hissing already. We're good. We got that. We got the dinosaur section established. Let's get like more of the undead thing happening here, huh?
So, yeah, I think that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So storyline kill off Penta. Not sure how you do that without raising some
eyebrows. They did something to that effect, I think, in Lucha Underground.
Really?
At least they killed Luchasaurus in Underground.
Didn't they kill off the bunny in Impact?
Yes, Bunny got killed in Impact. I think Mickey James got killed in Impact. James Storm pushed her in front of a train. Did you believe that?
That'll do it then.
That'll do the trick. I would not want to be. I mean, I don't want to die in general. I don't think I'd want to be hit by a train to die.
No, it seems like a bad way to go.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like a very bad way to go. Not sure if there's a great way to go. But yeah, anyways, boy, we digressed a little bit. Buddy Murphy, Dominic. Buddy Matthews. Buddy Matthews.
Yeah, Buddy Matthews. I will say, geez, I had a good point about the House of Black, but now I cannot remember because we went way off the rails.
Were you talking about Bray Wyatt a little bit, maybe? I don't know.
It wasn't in relation to that. Shit. What was it? Dang it. Boy. I'm optimistic to see what Buddy is, but I think it goes back to the problem of like, hey, what's going on? Like, there's a lot of people. We talked about this before too, Marcus. This was like probably over a year ago, actually. Was the idea of getting, certain categories. I was texting with a couple friends over the course of the week, and bringing up a point where you have 8 people in mind that you want to build up throughout your whole promotion. Like you have 8 main focuses. I was looking at it more for like, okay, let's look at it as categories, where you have world title, TNT title, the women's division. So the TBS title and the women's title, then you have the tag division, and then the rest of that. So you focus on 3 in each category, 3 in each. And then from then you have your other talent there to enhance the rest of that, whether that's through good storyline. Doesn't mean they're losing, but it just that their whole purpose there is to build up those talents you want up there. They're the focus, who the main feuds are going to be on, who your payoff matches are with, everything like that. And you make that the focus. And I think that's a good structured way to kind of move forward in dealing with so many people on your roster.
John Boutwell, what's up? Thanks for joining. It sort of brings up an idea that I had thought of as well, which is, so you've got somebody like Joey Janela, who I'm not always a fan of, but I do think he takes great bumps. And he would make he'd be a good enhancement talent, I think.
I don't know. Is he still there anymore?
I don't know, but I'm just using him as an example.
Go ahead.
A talent like that would be the sort of guy that you maybe don't sign to an actual contract, but you do say like you kind of have him like an on-call talent where you say like, hey man, we need you in Tampa next week. Here's the payday, and you bring him in, have him do the job, put somebody over, make it shine him up, and say, okay, we'll call you in 3 weeks or whatever to do it again. That would probably be the best use. But here's the issue: is that still, we still have too many top talent in the company. You and I ran down a list. We said in a Dynamite program, there's 8 total quarter hours. We've got more than 8 top guys that you want to feature, right?
Sure.
And so what the corner you're backing yourself into now, all of a sudden, is the same corner that I think WWE backed themselves into, and it's why they became so structured. Where there's, I would say the average match on WWE is maybe 6 minutes, something like that, and it's because they've got so much talent that they need to feature. So they're like, okay, hey, they went over by the last segment was supposed to be 6 minutes. They went over by 2 minutes. That leaves you now with 4 minutes to complete your match. So go out there and you get all your shit in within 4 minutes. And I think that's what's happening in WWE. And I think that the AEW is kind of positioning themselves to deal with the same, just due to the giant influx of talent that they're having. Now, look, like I've said, I think that Cesaro is a must sign. There are some guys that are must sign. Bray Wyatt must sign. There's some talents that you have to go out and get, but at the same time, I think that you've got to be really strategic, and you've got to let some lesser used talent, even if it's a name, even if it's somebody that you really love, you have to let some people contract expire.
Yeah, we're getting to that. Obviously it's that point where contracts are expiring. So, yeah, there's that. And like to your point, yeah, you go back and visit, a certain city, you bring that talent in for a little bit to work a couple shows or a couple matches, get it on tape again. And there's always a familiar face. You just bring them around. And with the indie scene the way it is, and, there's opportunities for the wrestlers to hone their craft further or change, anything like that. And, heck, they're back in the mix with everything, whether that's WWE, AEW, you name it. So I think there's that chance to do that. But yeah, I'm really about creating more of a hierarchy, an established hierarchy that focuses on a certain select few talent, like the three people in each category is your main focus on it, or teams, whatever it is, and then go from there, because then you have a base that you can work off of and pick and choose and make things happen. Because look, not only do you got Buddy Matthews just signing, but it's already reported that Swerve the Realist, also known as Shane Strickland, also known as Isaiah Scott, has signed with AEW. And wow, what a talent he is too.
Well, Dom, you actually you bring me to a point here that Steven made just a little bit ago. Tony teasing huge announcement, Dynamite, either a new streaming service or Cody comes back, and he said he's just kidding about Cody. But Tony Khan's big announcement coming this Wednesday. Apparently, he said he feels that he's going to be in a position to make this announcement on Wednesday. Well, what do you think it is, Dom?
I guess that sounds like, from that perspective, it sounds like more of, maybe he might be announcing a streaming service. But, is that, my thing is, that's big news. That's obviously big news. Like, especially if it's like HBO Max or anything like that. I have HBO Max, by the way. I would fucking love it if that was the case. But, is like, from a wrestling show perspective, is that a big announcement? Do you know what I mean? Like, from what you're presenting on your show as a product, is that a huge, big announcement that fans are going to be like, yes? You know what I mean? It's an exciting notion for the wrestling business and for AEW. But is that from, hey, getting eyes on your product, being like, wow, okay, that is big news? Like, do you kind of get what I'm saying out here? Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah, I think it's a big announcement based on your perspective. Like for somebody like me, I love AEW. I think it's the best wrestling program on TV right now. But like, it doesn't really impact my life.
Right.
So it really depends on your perspective. Now, is it a big thing in wrestling? Sure, but is it a big thing to the average fan? Not really. When Tony Khan says big announcement, what's everybody's first thought? He's bringing somebody in.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what everybody's thinking about. Steven Chambers is making a point here, Dom. In May, they're starting Owen Hart tournament. Could be more Owen Hart stuff. I know that they just released their first Owen Hart T-shirt. AEW did.
Oh, did they?
Yep, it's a pretty cool looking shirt too. So it might just be the announcement of like, hey, we're rolling out Owen Hart shit.
You know what? I don't remember the dates exactly, but there's the River City Convention or something in Jacksonville. Guess who's supposed to be there?
I don't know who.
Bret the Hitman Hart. I don't
Oh
know if
my.
that has anything.
Well, I will say, that if you're gonna have somebody come out and present a trophy or show, hey, here's the prize that everybody's working for. Who's better than Bret Hart?
Well, Martha's the
And
one.
I was just gonna say Owen Hart's wife and children would be great there too.
Mm-hmm. That's the only thing that maybe one might make me think otherwise. But heck, you don't. Maybe there's a certain amount of patching up, that happened. I hope so. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Also, this is a little aside, but I did read on Twitter that Davey Boy Smith Jr. is back in active form. He's ready to get back in the ring. So,
how fun would it be to have him in that tournament?
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm. Former Opera Cup winner of MLW, Davey Boy Smith, and Davey Richards was one too.
Boy, oh boy.
But yeah, Mark. I mean, a lot of talent. You really have to focus. It's a upsetting predicament to be in, I think, right? Because you want to use these guys and gals and certain ones that you want to root for, and I want to see more of this person and that. But it's also to convey stars as stars, you have to focus on them.
Yeah, and well, first let me address what Nesha said here. I don't think it's something major. I think it's to get folks to watch. I hope that that's not the case, because you are really burning your bridges when you do shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something that Dixie Carter fell victim to.
Where
she would say we have the biggest announcement in the history of wrestling next week. And then it would be next week would come and she'd be like, yep, the pay-per-view's main event is a ladder match. She'd say something like that. It's that's the biggest announcement in the history of wrestling. So yeah, she routinely did that shit and burned bridges to the point where it's okay, you've cried wolf enough and I'm not fucking tuning in again. For the shit. Dominic John Howard made a point earlier also to what you were just saying. You're talking about utilizing talent. If higher talent is spread out over 9 months instead of all year, it would make the comeback times and feuds more fresh. So it sounds like he's suggesting almost like an off season.
Yeah, I agree with that. John, I've used before on this show a volleyball team, a volleyball game. You rotate people in and out, and you keep your stars in. You keep your stars in the game, but hey, the rest of the roster is fluid, if you will. So yeah, I'm totally with that. An off season or something.
I think it's one way to go. If look, here's the other thing: is if this announcement that Tony's making is, hey, we've got another wrestling program that's streaming exclusive. Again, it wouldn't really impact my life big time, but it would present another platform to feature talent on.
I think if Tony's going to make that announcement, he's got to pair it with something that fans can be this fucking person showed up. You know what I mean? I think it's got to be kind of something to the effect where it's okay, that really, that's changing the whole game right there. Obviously a streaming deal with an HBO Max would be a game changer, in the general industry of the business. And that's huge news, but it's from a television presentation standpoint, yeah, I would as a fan, I'd want a little bit more, right?
Here's the other thing, and this is why I don't think it's going to be a streaming service thing, is that WWE has obviously WWE Network, but they've got this gigantic, massive catalog of content to put on that network.
Yeah.
We're talking about everything from AWA, Mid-South, NWA, WCW, everything. They own the rights to all of it, so they've got this giant library. What is AEW's library, Dominic?
Just AEW history, and
that's not enough to turn the dials. Certainly not enough to get somebody to fork over whatever it is, $9.99 a month or whatever it is he's going to charge. So that I don't think that they have enough yet. Now that being said, if Vince McMahon is starting to sell off assets, I think it would be really wise for Tony Khan to invest in them, and maybe Dominic. Maybe he invested in the ROH library, and he's going to say that's our library that we feature. Again, though, if he did that, Stephen Chambers is on it. He said AEW buy ROH content. He may have, and maybe that's the announcement. But what do you charge for that? I don't know that it turns the dials enough for a wrestling fan to say yeah, here's $9.99 a month so that I can watch ROH stuff that's I could probably find on YouTube anyways.
I mean, but that could change too. If AEW wants to get stringent about that, they could get all that content removed off of YouTube and everything too. I think that falls in the same category, and even maybe in like from a standpoint, okay, I think the biggest news would be like they signed a deal with HBO Max for a streaming service. Second biggest deal, like from an industry maybe perspective, is they buy the ROH library or something like that. But again, I think you have to pair it with something, whether that's a big reveal of a star coming, debuting, a big, or like maybe stars returning. Like, could you imagine like, hey, this whole thing, like I said back with Cody. Hey, what if Cody was the one that came back with the ROH contract or something like that and has the library and has ownership of that? I don't know, kind of almost like a thing. You don't want an invasion, obviously. Just shit like spitballing kind of thing. But it's like you need to pair those things with something because, boom, it's a great thing. But, I mean, if you're a viewer, you want immediate satisfaction while you're watching it. So it's like, okay, that announcement was made, but what am I getting out of it right here and right now? Like, I tuned in because there was supposed to be this big announcement. It's big, but I want something right now. Kind of thing,
it wouldn't turn the dials for me. Yeah. So no, I agree. I think that people want instant gratification, and he's kind of set the bar where it's like, hey, something big is happening, and then like CM Punk shows up, or Bryan Danielson shows up, Keith Lee shows up, even though I know some people were disappointed by that. Dominic, what if Cody buys ROH, as Nesh is saying right here? What if Cody buys ROH, and then they do a little cross promotional war?
I think it's pretty good. I think the invasion angles have been beaten to a dead horse, very, very much so. So I would try to kind of find a realm of, and this could be to your point, Marcus, where it's like, okay, you have another way to present your wrestling show, but, with another name on it. And you almost have two leagues or conferences like the AFC and the NFC. And then like you get something going in that regard. I think that would be cool. I very much, though, would not want more titles. Except like maybe a cruiserweight championship or something, or trios. You could maybe get away with a couple more titles, maybe.
Oh, but you need the intergender tag titles.
Yeah, something that just be selective. You don't need 2 world champions. You don't need 2 TNTs champions, 2 TBS champions. Just
too convoluted.
Too convoluted. It just makes things seem less than.
Yep.
You have an ensemble cast. You want to focus more on some select talent, I think. With an ensemble to support them.
I agree.
Marcus, anything else really popping out that you want? Oh, let's talk about Danielson and Moxie, how they closed out the show. Main event was Daniel Garcia versus Bryan Danielson. Great match. Quite a match. And then you had Mox come out and tease more so where Danielson and Moxley look like they might align instead of, after they fight. At Revolution, looks like they might be on the same page, right?
Feels a little directionless. There's direction as far as it is looking like Mox and Danielson are going to form a tag team, which is cool. Feels a little bit directionless as far as like what is Daniel Bryan right now? Is he a babyface or a heel? Because he wrestled a heel or a guy who's been presented as a heel in Garcia, and then Garcia and his buddies got heat on him afterwards.
Yes.
Heat like you would get on a babyface. But he hasn't been behaving like a babyface.
You know what? I just think maybe that was I was kind of hoping, was that it was just a temporary thing for the Hangman program, where he was like, okay, he's like this fucking ruthless heel, like destroying everybody in the Dark Order, kind of like, being a little like condescending to the fans. Well, more than a little condescending, it was condescending to the fans. And then maybe this is the transition thing that gives him a reason to get out of it.
Nesha says he's a mix of both, Dom.
Yeah, see, I don't think that's the best way to play a top star a lot of the times. Because like look at what happened with like the Young Bucks, where it was just like this kind of like, okay, where are they standing at here? Like it just
he's still shiny and new too.
Yeah,
he's still shiny and new in AEW, and nobody wants to boo him.
No, and I will say this though, Danielson's one of the best at doing this. Like, where he. Okay, you like him, but he's also can be just that total asshole thing too. He can play that off. He's great at both roles. So,
well, I'll tell you what, Jason Michael Campbell is just turning heel here in the chat, Dom.
Man,
turning heel in the chat.
Full blown heel.
It's just not a main eventer. Will never
clearly,
be. Kid sucks.
Man. Damn.
Yeah. So that's two of, you could argue, two of the best workers in the world, and Jason Michael Campbell not a fan. Not a fan.
John Howard, potentially a fan. If they form a stable, what would you guys like to see? Who would you like to see join? Who would you pick?
I hope they don't form a stable. I really do.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we have a lot of stables, but
yeah,
a lot of stables. But if
I would rather see them almost like just tag teaming together, like Shawn Michaels and Stone Cold did, right? Where it's just
or
like,
maybe one person with them. Would that be like you get like somebody like a Lee Moriarty or
look, if it was anybody but Bryan Danielson, I'd say yeah, sure, maybe, but Bryan Danielson is a standalone act in my opinion, because he's so good.
He's very good, but also he's at that point too where he can get other people to rub. So if you're having him like work with Moxie all the time, you already have two established guys. You want to build new stars. So like getting somebody in the mix with them, I think is pretty valuable. I think that's why you have them there. That's why you have those talent. Obviously, they're stars in themselves, but hell, you want to keep that train rolling. Especially if you're doing a streaming thing and you want more opportunities and you want to boost some stuff up. I think you need to include a younger guy or gal for that matter in their faction.
Steven Chambers is popping me with this because I didn't notice it. Aubrey stopped her 2 count in Jade's match. Jade's shoulders were still down, so the bunny should be the TBS champion right now. Apparently, JR commented that she had a brain fart, which I did not see it. Did you?
I think I kind of noticed something, but I thought for some reason that maybe Jade kicked out, like on it.
But if JR called her out,
Steven, you probably watched. Yeah, like the way I sit at my TV, it's a little far away. I'm not the best with vision, as Marcus knows. So, I think I saw something to that effect, but I didn't notice JR said she had a brain fart or anything.
That would be really funny though. He just like breaks kayfabe and he's like, "What the fuck? She was supposed to kick out."
She was supposed to kick out. I tell you what though, Jade, she's great, man. Like that promo at the end, like she just matter of fact and just like it's. I think she's a babyface, Marcus. I think it's good. It's happening.
Look, you can only be dominant for so long before the fans just get behind you.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think that she's been dominant enough and she's got such a unique look that it's just she's a baby face and that's all there is to it.
Hey, John, thanks for joining, man.
Yeah, John Howard's he's got to bounce off to the family dinner. All right, man. Thanks for joining us. Hope you can be with us next week, pal.
Yeah. Get you in the rotation. Yeah, Mark, I think, there is a matter of that dominance. Like even Tony Schiavone on the air was saying like, who have we seen this dominant in like decades? And like, you're thinking Goldberg,
well, yeah. That's it's intentional. And
that's for sure. Yeah. That's what I mean.
I think that Tony Khan he wants a Goldberg. And he's like, okay, who's perfect for it? Miro was perfect for it, but the other person that is perfect for it is Jade.
Yep. Jade.
What do you think? You love Tay Conti. What's your opinion on Jade and Tay Conti going to work?
I'm looking forward to it. It just seemed so abrupt. You know what I mean? Where it's just like, okay, she calls somebody out. That's almost like you debut somebody, if that's going to happen. Because like, if you have Tay Conti come out, I think that would be more so like you ease into that story rather than punch the fans in the face with it. You know what I mean? So I like it. I like Tay Conti, but she was just in the like another title picture too with, with Britt and stuff like that. So and plus like, hey, we haven't seen Ruby Soho that much either, and I know she was just in the program with Jade, but like
that's a good point. Where is she?
She's still working like other like indie shows and stuff like that. I think she's just been more on Dark and Elevation and stuff. And that's the issue. That's what I mean is like you got to establish these stars and focus on certain amount of women, certain amount of men, certain amount of tag teams, everything like that to get things cooking. Because, if you're punching us in the face with a sudden abrupt, like, hey, this person's in the next program, it doesn't do anything for me. And I love Tay Conti.
Also, yeah, what was Tay? What was her last angle? Anyways,
the hardcore match that she and Anna Jay had against the Bunny and
how long ago was that?
Probably about like a month and a half, 2 months ago, right?
So that was the last time we saw her, or the last time that she was involved in anything real significant. And by the way, I think she's awesome too. But so that was the last time we saw her, and now all of a sudden she comes out for this sudden appearance and to make a challenge. And why are we supposed to give a shit?
Right. It doesn't give us. I want a reason. I want a reason instead of like, hey, I want a challenge for that. And I know Jade's having this like open challenge kind of thing, but it just seems like, okay, well, we kind of know where this is going, and that's the issue where it's just like
it's hard to care when I haven't seen Jade in a month and a half or however long it's been.
Ty.
And Ty. And like I said, I think she's awesome. She's a great talent. She works really well. But again, it comes back to okay, limited TV time. So she's been put on the back burner on national television. And all of a sudden she comes out and I'm supposed to say like, hey, okay, well she might win it. No. There is no thought in my mind.
No,
I would put everything in my savings on her doing the job for Jade.
Yeah.
There's no way that she's going to go over in that, and it's because there was no build. Now look, if Serena Deeb came out and said that she wants a piece of Jade, all of a sudden my eyebrows raised because they've been building Serena Deeb as like this unstoppable force, as just like a technical monster in pro wrestling.
Well, and she's having her own open challenge too with the Professor 5-minute challenge. So.
Right. So all of a sudden, if she comes out and she wants a piece of Jade, you're like, okay, does Braun beat technical savvy?
Yeah.
That's so that would mean something.
I think that's where they're headed.
I think so too, and I think that it's honestly, Deeb is the only person who really makes sense to take the belt off.
And again,
not fast.
And like I just don't think Ty's the right person to have in this role, because if you're trying to Ty is a babyface and Jade is you're trying to maybe angle her more in a babyface role too. Where
she's been a babyface since she had her child on TV for her title win.
Yeah, and I mean, people want to cheer for Jade, and people like they want to cheer for Ty too. But it's also like you're having that. I don't know. I just think it's just a matter of like positioning and making it seem a little bit more fluid instead of like abrupt. I just that's the issue. Let's close out with this, Mark. As how the show opened, Dynamite opened, was the Battle Royal. I love Battle Royals.
Hate them.
You hate them, and I have a affection for them because one of my favorite moments was like when Razor Ramon won the Battle Royal on Raw to become the number one contender for the Intercontinental title. So I kind of always had a soft spot for Battle Royals because of that match.
He didn't technically win, Dominic.
Yes, he won. It was
he and Rick Martel.
Yeah, so they won. So he won.
So there were two winners for one Battle Royal.
So he was a winner, was he not?
So it's co-winners.
So he won. He won the Battle Royal.
So he was a co-winner of a Battle Royal.
He won the Battle Royal, and so did Rick Martel.
As co-winners, they won.
So I know this. Okay. Anywho, now I was not a fan of this Battle Royal, Marcus, and I liked the ending. I liked it how they ended up playing it out where it was just 6 guys from each team. I thought that was a cool thing to do, but the story or lack thereof that they played up before that, I hate it when people in Battle Royals and Royal Rumbles, name it, take their eye off the prize, take a look at their opponent that they just threw out and gloat, and where you think that's going to happen? What's next? Huh? How many times have you seen that? And it's just so dumb. It's so dumb. Have you ever been in a dodgeball game? Yes, you have, Marcus. I've been in a dodgeball game. You got your head on a swivel, all right? You're not fucking – I don't throw a ball, eliminate somebody, and be like, yeah, fuck you. Maybe in a certain way I do. But I also keep my eyes. The peripherals, they got to be ready to go, especially in dodgeball. Battle Royals are like dodgeball. They should treat it like a dodgeball game. And you just got to be aware. And I just don't like how it's not there. That's a missing – that does not suspend my disbelief, okay?
Hey, Dom, it's wrestling logic, pal.
It's bad. It's one of the worst aspects, I think, of wrestling logic. Like, I just don't like it. It just – that's something that you really should tighten up and get more creative with the Battle Royal, because, I mean, Battle Royals can be fun, but you have to do them in the right manner.
I think that's a problem with the Battle Royal concept, Dominic. It's a giant schmoz, and you don't know where to focus your attention. and they try to focus your attention, and usually it doesn't work because the cameraman has got to be perfectly focused and know exactly where his spot is. They have to switch over to him at the right time. So there's a lot of that's I think it's a flawed concept right out of the gate for that reason, but also because it's been so overused over the years. There's only so many ways out, Dom. There's only so many ways. There's only so many outs for the team that you want to protect, right? And like, how else do you do it? And by that I mean when you want to protect somebody in Battle Royal, there's what tropes do we have? We have the classic distraction, right? We have cheating. You could cheat. You could like low blow the guy and throw him over. There's only so many. So, and I think that they've all been used.
Well, and you can have a gang up on him, everybody. But like that's the logic standpoint of that. Okay, so like, if you're gonna have somebody get eliminated, have it make sense that they get eliminated instead of like, oh, they're just looking for a long time at this person. Hey, I threw that guy out. Nobody's gonna attack me from behind. I'm just so happy I threw that person out. And oh fuck, I got thrown out. It's just no.
Right.
There's different ways to go about it here.
My wife doing a run in on the show, Dom.
Oh man, wow! The first run in. Does she want to? She should get on camera.
I just asked her to come over. She's
Becking
not.
her over. Oh
no, she gave me the.
Nope, not doing it.
Not doing it. Won't do it.
Wow.
In any case,
yes.
Battle Royal sucked, Dominic. They always sucked. The Royal Rumble's the only true fix for a Battle Royal because you time it out.
I mean, I'm with you in that roundabout way, but it's like, yeah, if you're gonna do it, like I liked how they set it up. And like the story at the end was neat because it was 6 guys, and like you're just like, okay, it's like do or die here. Who's gonna win? I think there was something to be said for that. Or Marcus, you make it 8 people, just an 8-person battle royal, and go from there. I think you can tell more of a story that way than anything else.
Remember the 60-man 3-ring battle royals in WCW, Dom?
Yes,
they were like, hey, we know you have a hard time focusing on battle royals, but now we're just going to give you, now we're just going to give you triple the stimuli. just an insane thing to do. Also, it's like all these wrestlers are just like standing there, like, okay, do we start? It's like 60 people out there, and they're like, okay, should I start fighting?
Great. What are we doing here?
Let's just hang out till they ring that fucking bell.
I think that's kind of another reason maybe why I like Battle Royals. I really like Dodgeball as a kid.
Yeah, I mean, Dodgeball is fun, and the concept is fun and everything, too. But I'm trying to say Battle Royals, the concept on paper is fun. But at the same time, Dominic, it's overplayed. There's too much stimuli. It's silliness. And by the way, I think that Tony Khan was trying to fill a segment with a bunch of talent. Because he's got so much damn talent.
There's a lot of teams. It's a lot of teams. Like, and it made you think, like, okay, look at all the top teams you have in there, and how are you going to make the most of all those? Because you had Red Dragon, you had FTR, you had the Young Bucks, you had Santana and Ortiz, you had they weren't in the match, but you have like Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. I mean, you think about all those other teams that are involved in that you want to get over. It's a lot. It's a lot. Marcus, how would you rate your overall dodgeball skill in high school and on a scale of 1 to 10?
Well, Dominic, you were with me the last time I played dodgeball, were you not?
Yeah, we did it at the Ace Hotel in Pittsburgh. We had
So I won't speak for myself. I'll let you speak for me.
I want you to know. You have to rate yourself. That's what I asked the question.
I'm easily a 10 out of 10 at dodgeball.
Wow.
10 out of 10.
If you were 10 out of 10, wouldn't you win every game?
I basically did. There were 3 games that night where I was the last person against 4 people or more, and I won it every single time. All
right, how's your dodging skill in comparison to your throwing skill? Come on,
perfect.
You gotta give a rating. Okay?
Dom, there's a reason why I'm the last person in there so often. I'm good at dodging.
I'm great at dodging. I think I'm a 10 at dodging. Throwing, not so much. Catching, not so much. I'd put myself at a 6.
Those are very important stats when it comes to
dodging. I'm fucking 10.
Dodgeball.
It's called dodgeball.
You're putting yourself at a 6,
not catch ball. Yeah,
like a 6 overall.
Yeah, dude. I was a sole survivor in there.
So look, the 3 aspects of dodgeball. 3 aspects of dodgeball, Dominic, are dodge.
Dodge, got it.
Throw.
Not that much. Catch. Okay, somewhat.
So if you
distract,
only cover
4.
If you only cover one of those, distract.
Dodge, Distract, catch, and what was the other one? Throw. I got two of them.
I would say, Dominic, I would say at the most you are a 30%. You are 3 out of 10.
Bullshit. Dude, how often do I survive in dodgeball?
If you've only got a third of it down, though, Dominic, that is not enough.
That's like baseball. You hit 30% of the time.
Okay, so you are a 3 out of 10.
No. I'm a 5 or 6.
You're batting 300, which is not
6.
great. Which
I'm
is
valuable.
not great in dodgeball.
Marcus, I hang in there, and especially in a certain game, if you can get somebody back in.
Yeah, well, the thing is, but you don't catch the ball.
I can catch.
You just said you don't.
It's not one of my best parts of it. No.
That's just over the dodgeball talk.
I'm a 6 dodgeball. Okay.
No, you are a 3.
Fuck you. All right.
How do you rank me, Dom? Go ahead. I just ranked you.
You rank all right.
See, he won't answer, folks, because he knows I'm a 10.
I'll say you're an 8.5. How's that?
You know I'm a 10 out of 10.
That's fucking egotistical, right there.
Let's handle. Hey, I'm just
have
speaking,
a little bit of perspective on yourself.
Speaking those truths.
Man, how do you survive in life if you just think you're better at everything like that?
Because I approach everything with confidence, Dom. Anyways, AEW talk, Dominic.
What do you think of Cole and Hangman here? How is that setting up for you?
I like the idea of the match. I think it's going to be a great match, but I think that the problem is that we all know what the outcome is already, don't we? Does anybody think that Adam Cole's going to win the belt?
I think people. I mean, maybe. I don't know. They could really shock people by having him win the belt. I don't think it will, but
I don't think they're gonna.
So it says Cole new champion.
So
says Cole wins.
I think it'd be fun if he did. Especially because he's over. But will he? No, because Hangman just got that belt, and he needs a nice long run with it.
And I think to what I said last week too, I think it's gonna the Young Bucks, Red Dragon, all that kind of tension coming into play. I think that's gonna end up imploding a little bit here and give Adam Cole more of a story line to focus after Hangman Page. It's still like a major and more serious program than what he's been in. So.
Yeah, and to Steven's point here, he's saying someone MJF. MJF is going to be the next champion.
Yeah,
you can bet your bottom dollar on it. And so, yeah, Cole's not going to win. I think that Hangman's going to have himself a little run. I think that MJF might go over against CM Punk in this collar match, or even if he doesn't, he'll move on to the next and start to build wins, or maybe he'll just move directly on to Hangman Page. But no, it's inevitable. The next champion of AEW will be MJF.
To go back to that, do you think so? The way they positioned MJF as like in the sympathetic role this past Wednesday, is that an indication that he will win the match? Do you think? Or what does that give you any indication? You think either way? Where are you falling at?
If he hadn't just beat CM Punk twice, technically, on national TV, I would say that he's going to win. But I think that Punk, and as we've said before on the program, some people don't need to win. Like, I don't think Jericho needs a win at all against Eddie Kingston. No. But I do think that when you've got a talent like Punk, and he's still young, he's still got a lot of miles left.
And you want him in title contention, too.
You want to establish him as one of your top stars. I think that he's going to wind up getting a win back on MJF.
How do you feel that would that do anything? Would that damage MJF whatsoever, you think?
No. And, here's the other thing is, you could do the classic, like, CM Punk wins, but then MJF starts whooping his ass after the match, and maybe Hangman Page comes out for the save, and that's how you move on. It's been done many times.
How would you feel about, like, Steven Chambers here mentions a little bit of Wardlow here? How about that story progressing during or after the match at Revolution with him? Like, would you be against Wardlow somehow getting involved in some form or fashion?
Yes, I think that you've got two great performers in MJF and CM Punk. I think you just let him go, let him tell the story. Mm-hmm. I don't want any of the frills.
And who said this last week was wondering about Piper and Valentine's dog collar match, and then Cody and Brody's dog collar match. If you want that to be up there with those ones, you don't want a lot of. You don't want
no fuckery.
No fuckery. Yeah. So I'm with you on that. Tell the Wardlow story on Wednesday. You know.
Yeah, and I will say, and I believe that Stephen Chambers brought it up a little bit earlier. The Wardlow Spears angle, which was just on last night on Rampage, where it's like basically he was doing his powerbomb symphony and he won the match with it, but then afterwards, Spears is like, "Nah, you gotta quit it. It's not getting over." It doesn't really turn the dials for me. Not because I don't like either guy. I think both guys are awesome, but like that's the first Wardlow match I've seen in a while, and maybe it's because I've been missing some Dynamite episodes, or I've been rewatching, or having to fast forward at times. But like, to me, it's like I see massive potential in Wardlow. I see that he could be a main event guy. He reminds me a lot of Nikita Koloff back in the day.
Yeah.
You know, just like not a super polished worker, but great look and a powerhouse, and you know, you could build around him. But yeah, I mean, as of right now, it's like, okay, so I guess like that was my reaction. I was like, okay, Spears doesn't like power bombs. Sorry.
And it's been a story.
What's the next match?
It's been a story that's been told week after week after week after week after week.
See, now that's fucking interesting, Dominic. Stephen Chambers again. Wardlow and Brian Cage is a tag team. Maybe.
I wouldn't be against that.
Maybe. The only thing that makes me against it is because I want to see Brian Cage come back as Mortis.
He needs a good solo run. I think he needs a good solo run too, where it's just like he goes on a tear, folks.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
Dom, what thoughts on the blood runs cold gimmick coming into AEW with the Mortis character?
Like I said, I'm for it. You know, I think you handle it in the right manner. You don't fucking.
So you agree that Glacier should be brought in to AEW?
Oh, Glacier part. He was in AEW already.
That was the whole blood runs cold thing.
Oh, I was thinking you said Mortis. Okay, so I'm sorry, but yeah,
I'm saying with Mortis.
With Mortis,
you know, he feuds with. You bring him in as Mortis. He feuds with Glacier.
Nah, that's okay.
They've got the snow machine already, Dom.
That's a fact. That's
just
true.
Fucking makes sense.
Glacier comes out.
Tony Khan's like, I already invested in this fucking snow machine.
We got to make the most of it here. It's in Jacksonville. We left it in Jacksonville.
Nesh just fed up with our shit, Dom.
He is.
Sammy and Andrade was a great match. I know you didn't watch the program because you're a piece of shit, but it was a really good match. Andrade's first loss in AEW.
Oh, is it? Okay. Jeez. Well, I just want Andrade to be positioned like he needs something going on, like, you know, and I think a title of some sort needs to be in the mix. So
Ric Flair, we talked about it before.
Yeah, I think that would supplement a title for now if you have him with Flair, and you have him with Flair, Marcus. Yeah, to your point, that elevates him to like a top star level. I think, you know, for the time being, and then
I think it will.
You know, I am with you on that. Oh, Nesh is just tired.
So we don't take it personally, Nesh. You can trash our shit.
Yeah,
anyways, we're about done. Anyways.
Yeah, we are, Marcus. Geez, what you got going on there over at Free Shows?
What are you doing over there
at Free Shows?
Man, it's always something new. Always something new. Tomorrow we're doing Rebels Happy Hour, which is something that we do. I believe it's every other week on Ad Free Shows, where none other than Rebel of AEW fame comes in. Yeah, Reba Rebel. She comes in and she has some cocktails with our members, and they just BS. She takes questions, they hang out, and Dominic, tomorrow's a big one. It's always a big one because it's awesome having Rebel involved. But it gets even better tomorrow, Dominic, because who's coming along for the party? Who's coming along to have a couple drinks? None other than the Murder Hawk monster.
Whoa.
Lance Archer is coming in.
How about that? Boy, Marcus. Yep. I bet he could drink you under the table.
No, I could outdrink Lance Archer 100%, and I would beat him at dodgeball. No, I
could you imagine playing Lance Archer at dodgeball? Dear God.
He makes a big target. Big target,
but geez, could you imagine the deflated
velocity,
the deflated balls that they used in fucking high school. We didn't have like the soft dodgeballs. You had deflated. That was the key. Was to get the deflated ones.
You could throw those balls like 80 miles an hour.
Marcus, you broke our cousin's face with the dodgeball. Do you remember that?
They stopped doing dodgeball. Our high school stopped doing dodgeball because my female cousin, if you can believe it, I threw a ball and I was aiming for her butt, Dominic. Just not great aim. Hit her right in the face.
Yeah.
And I broke all the blood vessels on the left side of her face.
Oh my god!
Yeah, she had like a black eye, broken blood vessels all through the left side of her face.
And I tell you what, any gym class, that's the game I look forward to the most. I was like, I hope we fucking play dodgeball today. I don't want to sit there. I don't. That was the day. I was like, I'm ready to go. You hooked me up, and like I said, I'm only 6, but I was a scrappy 6. Okay.
You were a 3, and yeah, it's. Anyways, Dominic, Lance Archer coming in, and. It's going to be quite an event. We're just always pulling out all the stops, dude. And by the way, because Rebel's involved, at one point she did one of these from the box at a Jacksonville Jaguars game. So she was in the luxury box with the Jacksonville Jaguars, and everybody did a run in. Serena Deeb popped in and said hi. Yes. Ricky Starks was there. He came by and said hi to the members. So like, honestly, if you're not a part of ad free shows, you are missing out fucking huge. Just get over there, get your free trial at freetrial.com. Check that out. And really, it's like the higher tier membership you can afford to be part of, the more experiences you get. Eric Bischoff is just like routinely just calling people just randomly. Yeah, our members just like, all right, let's see what this person's doing, because he's built personal relationships with all of them. So it's pretty cool. Really cool. Go check out adfreeshows.com. Get your free trial at freetrial.com, and then you're gonna fall in love. Stick around. Sign up. It's worth it. Steven Chambers saying Archer and FTR contracts are expiring soon. Wonder if AEW will resign them. Definitely need to re-sign FTR. 100 million, 100 million billion %, Dominic.
They define your tag division. I think it's like they're like a cornerstone, I think, of the tag division you need to have.
It's you forget how great those guys are until you see them regularly, and like they just bring the best out of everybody that they're in the ring with. They're like Bret Hart as a tag team. They're Bret Hart as a tag team. They just get all the best out of everybody.
And Archer, I think you re-sign him too, because he's one of those big guys, and I think you have to kind of establish him more so in a solid role of like, okay, I almost really do want him in that babyface role, because he hasn't really got the opportunity to do that. We've seen him like as this unpredictable monster kind of thing. You can play into that, but you have him like go on a tear and do his own thing. I think you could still you could still make him a top star and put him at the top of your card in a lot of ways. So
no doubt.
Mm-hmm. But as far as WrestleZone's concerned, we have.
I don't remember asking you about WrestleZone, Dominic.
Oh, well, Marcus, this is kind of a WrestleZone show.
Yeah, I know. Go ahead. We love WrestleZone.
Yeah. So we just got a lot of good stuff kicking here at the moment. Plenty of like good content. Colin Tessier does the NXT show every week. We got After Raw programs. Like that. Obviously, it's WrestleMania season, so there's a lot of good stuff in there. We have a lot of good irons in the fire and things happening as well too, that you should be on the lookout. Our editor Bill Pritchard just interviewed Lindsay Dorado, and it's a very good interview. Bill was very happy with it, so give that a check out there. And as far as I'm on the hot tag, that's one of the shows I do around the horn-esque very style, and I get a different wrestling writers or personalities in the business to go around the horn with me, or around the ring, if you will. And the points matter. And at the end, you get to say your piece. So episode 4, I think it was, just released this past week. And it's all good topics. We talk about Cody. We talk about Steve Austin potentially showing up. AEW's roster. That was a huge focus. So if you like that discussion tonight, there's more of that there. And then, we talk about The Rock. Is he the all-time face of professional wrestling? We debate about that. Very intriguing topic. So,
Tom, you gotta get me on the hot tag.
We'll get you on the hot tag. We'll get you on there, Marcus. I will. You'll be humbled.
Also, go ahead and do a screen grab of Nesh's comment there. Y'all, my favorite. Don't tell Colin.
Oh wow!
Go ahead, screen grab that shit. Send it to Colin.
Colin was on the hot tag. He was on the hot tag, so you can tune into him on the hot tag there, Nesha. But yeah, I always try to get a good mix of folks in there. and probably going to record another one this week. Also have plans for a new show I'm very excited about. I will not reveal anything to yet, but just keep your eyes out on things. There's some things cooking there with that. So, yes.
Steven Chambers, why aren't you doing the hot tag shows live? Because
you
have to edit them, right?
I have. That's the big thing. So do it on Zoom. We use StreamYard to do this stuff. So we do it on Zoom, and to appropriately kind of get it all laid out in a lot of ways. I couldn't have a lot of fan interaction like this show has. So because you want to give the panelists the opportunity to speak their minds and everything like that. So to do it live just is not conducive for people. And plus if there becomes hitches, we'll have technical difficulties or a camera will cut out or, somebody's call will drop and then they have to come back in. Stuff like that really comes into play where it's just okay, it's not conducive for a live airing or things like that. That's the big reason. And so there's a lot of post-production work that goes with it a little bit more. I wouldn't say a lot, but a little bit more. So that's why it's not live. And plus I like these topics to kind of be evergreen. So they're the program lasts a while. If you don't watch it right away, it's not urgent. So it's okay, I can tune in 3 days later and all this stuff probably will still be relevant. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so. Nesha. So you can go back and watch, and you're really not, it's as Dominic said, it's evergreen. So jump in there and have a look.
All the topics we talk about still relevant we did record a week and a half ago, a week ago or something like that.
You guys know how busy I am, and I'm over here telling Dom I want to be on it, so that should tell you how damn good.
I know Marcus doesn't want to fucking do anything with me, let alone see me in person. So
he's still got my Christmas presents.
Still got his Christmas. I had his hat. I showed him last week, right over here somewhere.
Collecting cat fur.
I'm picking up Dusty's litter with it.
All right, we gotta wrap this thing up. Though.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. Always appreciate everybody being in here and engaging with us. You guys keep me on the track, obviously with the doll. So I appreciate that. And you keep Marcus in line. I like that too.
Yeah, it's been fun. Always enjoy it. Trying to establish more consistency. I'm starting to get into a groove with my new job responsibilities, Dom. So I think that we can make this work every Saturday.
Make it work a little bit more. What do you think about that? All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, we love you guys too. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time right here on Dominic. Two Dynamite dudes on a Rampage. See you guys.
Yeah. See you guys.